Hi, welcome back to the Bible in a Year Live Tanakh Project. Today is week 20, day 7. We've been reading from the Complete Jewish Bible this week and we're going to jump right on in. Today we'll be reading Jeremiah chapters 46 to 48. This section details God's judgment on several surrounding nations. Egypt is to be defeated by Babylon at the Battle of Carchemish, suffering destruction and exile, but with a promise of future restoration. God's judgment also falls on the Philistines for their wickedness, followed by the judgment of Moab, which is condemned for its pride and complacency and described as being utterly destroyed and scattered. Without further ado, let's jump right in. Jeremiah chapter 46. This is the word of Adonai that came to Jeremiah the prophet concerning the nations. Concerning Egypt, against the army of Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, stationed by the Euphrates River in Carchemish, which Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babel, attacked in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, son of Yeshayahu, king of Judah. Prepare breastplates and shield. Advance to battle. Harness the swords. Riders, mount. Troops, fall in. Helmets in place. Polished despairs. Coats of mail on. Why do I see them retreating in panic? Their heroes routed, fleeing headlong, not looking back, terror all around, asks Adonai. The swift cannot flee, nor the heroes escape. In the north, by the Euphrates River, they have stumbled and fallen. Who is this, rising up like the Nile, like rivers whose waters surge out in flood? It is Egypt, rising up like the Nile, like rivers whose waters surge out in flood, saying, I will surge out and cover the earth, destroying the city along with its people. Charge, horses! Full speed ahead, chariots! Let the warriors attack. Cush and Put, bearing their shields, and the Ludim, strong bows in hand. For on that day, Adonai Elohi Tezvaot will have a day of vengeance for avenging himself on his enemies. The sword will destroy, have its fill, be made drunk on their blood. Yes, Adonai Elohi Tezvaot decrees slaughter in the land to the north, by the Euphrates River. Go up to Gilead for its healing resin, virgin daughter of Egypt. You try many medicines, all in vain, for you there is no cure. The nations have heard about your disgrace. Your shrieks fill the earth as warrior trips over warrior, both falling down together. The word Adonai spoke to Jeremiah the prophet concerning how Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babel, would come and attack the land of Egypt. Proclaim in Egypt, announcing Migdol, announcing Noph and Tachpanhes. Say, take your stand, get ready, for all around you the sword is destroying. Why has your strong one been overthrown? He failed to stand because Adonai pushed him down. He caused many to trip. Yes, they fell all over each other. Then they said, let's get up, let's return to our own people, back to the land where we were born, away from the sword that destroys. They cried there, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, makes noise, but he lets the right time for action slip by. As I live, says a king whose name is Adonai Tezvaot, when he comes, he will be as mighty as Tavor among the mountains, as Carmel next to the sea. Daughter living in Egypt, prepare what you need for exile, for Noph will become a ruin, laid waste without inhabitant. Egypt is a beautiful female calf, but a horsefly from the north has come to attack her. Her mercenaries too, that were with her, were like well-fed calves in a stable, but they too have withdrawn in retreat. They all run away without standing their ground. For their day of disaster has come over them, the time for them to be punished. Egypt hisses like a snake as the enemy's army marches ahead, attacking her with their axes, their lumbermen chopping trees. They cut down her forest, says Adonai, for they cannot be numbered. Yes, there are more of them than locusts, far too many to count. The daughter of Egypt is put to shame, handed over to the people from the north. Adonai Tizvaot, the God of Israel, says, I will punish Ammon for No, Pharaoh, and Egypt with her gods and kings, that is, Pharaoh and those who trust in him. I will hand them over to those who seek their lives, to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babel, and to his servants. But afterwards, Egypt will be inhabited as in the past, says Adonai. Yet don't be afraid, Yaakov, my servant. Don't be distressed, Israel, for I will save you from faraway places and your offspring from the lands where they are held captive. Yaakov will return and be at peace, quiet, with no one to make him afraid. Don't be afraid, Yaakov, my servant, says Adonai, for I am with you. I will finish off all the nations where I have scattered you. However, you will not finish off. I will discipline you as you deserve, but not completely destroy you. Jeremiah chapter 47. This word of Adonai came to Yirmiyahu the prophet concerning the Philistine before Pharaoh attacked Azal. Here's what Adonai says. Water is rising out of the north. It will become a flooding stream, flooding the land and all that is in it, the city and its inhabitants. The people are crying out in alarm. Everyone in the land is weeping at the thunderous pound of his stallion's hoofs, at his rattling chariots' rumbling wheels. Fathers fail to turn back for their children. Instead, their hands hang limp, because the day has come for destroying all the Philistine, for cutting off from Zorah and to Zidon the last of their allies. For Adonai is destroying the Philistine, the remnant from the land of Caphtor. Azal is shaved bald, Ashkelon reduced to silence. Those of you who remain in their valley, how long will you go on gashing yourselves? Oh, sword of Adonai, how long till you can be quiet? Put yourself back in your scabbard. Stop. Be still. But how can you be still? For Adonai has given its orders against Ashkelon, against the sea coast. He has assigned it its task there. Jeremiah chapter 48. Concerning Moab, this is what Adonai Tazvaot, the God of Israel, says. Woe to Novo, for it is ravaged. Kiriath-Taim disgraced and captured. Misgav is put to shame, distressed. In Moab, nothing is left to praise. At Heshbon, they plotted her downfall. Come, we'll cut her off as a nation. You too, madmen, will be silenced. The sword pursues behind you. An agonized cry from Horon-Naim. Ruin, terrible devastation. Moab has been shattered. The cries of her young ones are heard as they ascend the slopes of Luchid. Weeping bitterly as they climb. On the road down to Horoyaim, shrieks of destruction ring out. Flee! Save your lives! Be strong like a tamarisk in the desert. Because you trust in your deeds and your wealth, you too will be captured. Together with his priests and princes, Chemosh will go into exile. A destroyer will descend on every city. No city will escape. The valley too will perish. The plain will be laid waste, as Adonai has said. Give Moab wings, so it can fly and get away. Its cities will become ruins, with no one to live in them. A curse on him who does the work of Adonai carelessly. A curse on him who withholds his sword from blood. Moab has lived at ease from his youth. He is wine settled on in its dregs, not decanted from jar to jar. He has not gone into exile. Therefore it retains its own bad taste. Its aroma remains unchanged. So the days are coming, says Adonai, when I will send people to tilt him. They will tilt his jars, emptying them and shattering the wine flasks to pieces. Moab will be disappointed by Chemosh then, just as the house of Israel was disappointed by Biayl, a god in whom they had put their trust. How can you say we are heroes, warriors valiant in battle? They are ravaging Moab, attacking its cities. Its best young men go down to be slaughtered, says the king, whose name is Adonai Tazvaot. Moab's ruin is coming soon. Its disaster speeds on swiftly. Pity him, all of you who are near him, all of you who know his name. Say, how the mighty scepter is shattered, that splendid staff. Descend from your glory and sit in thirst, daughter living in Devon. For Moab's destroyer advances on you. He has destroyed your strongholds. Stand by the road and watch, inhabitants of Aroer. Ask the man fleeing and the woman escaping, what is going on? Moab is disgraced, indeed destroyed. Wail aloud, Shriek, proclaim it by the Arnon that Moab has been laid waste. Judgment has come on the plain, on Holon, Yakzah, Mephaat, Devon, Nevo, Beet Deblatayim, Kiriatayim, Beet Gamul, Beet Maon, Kiriot, Botzra, and all the cities in the land of Moab, far and near. Moab's strength is outdone. His arm is broken, says Adonai. Because Moab boasted against Adonai, make him so drunk that he wallows in his own vomit and becomes a laughingstock. After all, Israel was a laughingstock for you. He didn't associate with thieves. Nevertheless, whenever you spoke of him, you shook your head. You who live in Moab, leave the cities and live on the rocks. Be like the dove who makes her nest in a hole in the rock at the mouth of a cave. We have heard of the pride of Moab. So very proud he is, presumptuous, proud, conceited, so haughty is his heart. I know what meager ground he has for his arrogance, says Adonai. His boasting has nothing behind it, and it hasn't accomplished a thing. Therefore, I wail for Moab. For all Moab I cry. For the people of Kirheres I lament. I will weep for you, vineyard of Sivma, more than I wept for Yazer. Your branches spread to the sea, reaching as far as the sea of Yazer. On your summer fruits and on your vintage, the destroyer has fallen. Gladness and joy have been removed from productive fields and the land of Moab. I have stopped the flow of wine from the vats and the shouts of those who tread the grapes. Those shouts of joy are stilled. The cries from Heshbon to El Ale are heard as far as Yakat. Those from Tazor to Haranyaim are heard in Eglat Slishia. For even the waters of Nimrim have become a desolate waste. Moreover, says Adonai, in Moab I will put an end to anyone sacrificing on a high place or offering incense to his gods. This is why my heart is mourning for Moab like funeral flutes, why my heart moans for the men of Kirheres like funeral flutes, for the wealth they produced has vanished. Every head has been shaved bald, every beard has been clipped short, gashes are on every hand, sackcloth around every waist. On all the housetops of Moab and in its open places, lamentation everywhere. For I have broken Moab like a pot that nobody wants, says Adonai. Wail, how shattered is Moab, how shamefully in retreat. Thus will Moab become an object of ridicule and distress to all its neighbors. For here's what Adonai says. Look, down he swoops like a vulture, spreading his wings against Moab. The cities are captured, the strongholds are seized. On that day, the hearts of Moab's warriors will be like the hearts of a woman in labor. Moab will be destroyed as a people because he boasted against Adonai. Terror, pit, and trap are upon you, people of Moab, says Adonai. Whoever flees from the terror will fall into the pit, and he who climbs up out of the pit will be caught in the trap. For I will bring on her, on Moab, the year for her punishment, says Adonai. In the shadow of Heshbon, the fugitives stop, exhausted. For fire breaks out from Heshbon, a flame from inside Shecon, consuming the sides and tops of the heads of Moab's noisy boasters. Woe to you, Moab! Keshmoth's people are doomed, for your sons have been taken captive and your daughters led into captivity. Yet I will end Moab's exile in the Arkarat Hayaim, says Adonai. This is a judgment on Moab. This is the word of the Lord. Amen. Thanks for joining us today. And we'll pause here. We'll pick up again tomorrow, or we will continue the book of Jeremiah. Blessings.